Sometimes it's difficult to realize and appreciate what you do have when what you don't have is constantly staring you in your face. If you had to think about and then list the many things that your spouse does that you dislike or that you wish were different, I don't doubt that you could fill a page with just the things that you wish would change immediately. Now, think about the many things that your spouse does that you actually do like or that you wish would never change. Think about the many things that your spouse does or does not do that would make your life miserable. Believe it or not, your spouse is doing more things correctly and to your liking than you may realize or want to believe. On the Tyler Perry film, Why Did I Get Married? This is referred to as the 80-20 principle or the 80-20 rule. Many spouses leave their marriages based on the 20% that they wish their spouse did differently versus staying in the marriage based on the 80% that their spouse does correctly. Though we all know that 80% is more than 20%, we often make the mistake of wanting it all. Now, I'll be the first to tell you that there's nothing wrong with wanting it all, but here's the flaw in that philosophy. We don't give it all. In other words, just as your spouse is imperfect to you, you are imperfect to your spouse. It's a dangerous place when we begin to think that we're doing everything perfectly in our marriages, and it is our spouses who are the ones that are causing the problem. Be careful not to take your spouse for granted or make him or her feel as though he or she is far from your expectations and probably can never be good enough for you. Don't make your spouse feel as if no matter how hard he or she tries to please you, they will always fall short somehow. The reality is that we will all fail one another at some time in some way or another. It is at those moments that we must remember the 80% or even the 90% of the things that our spouses do correctly or that pleases us, and not hold that one mistake against him or her. Not taking your spouse for granted is key to any healthy and any successful marriage. Make sure that your spouse knows that you appreciate him or her and that they don't feel taken advantage of